Hello, we're back. Yes, the hibernation is over. Welcome to What Bike Next. This is season number 2. And it's the programme where him, Simon Hargreaves, esteemed journalist extraordinaire, and I go head to head as we try and find the next bike for a BikeSocial member in What Bike Next. And we start, of course, always by saying a huge thanks to both Metzler Tyres and to Zerofit for sponsoring this video.
And here we are at Donington Park at the Superbike Factory, where we're going to meet Graham and find his What Bike Next.
Hiya, I'm Graham. I've had a motorbike since I was 4, and I've been on the road since 1997. This is my 12-year-old Kawasaki Versys. She's done 72,000 miles. He actually been custom painted by me and my son, who was 10 at the time. And she's a bit long in the tooth, so I think it's about time I upgraded to something else. But I don't know what I want. So my last bike's been a Bonneville Bergman 650, a Zero DSR. So it's a real mixed bag, and I'm having trouble deciding what I want next. So I need Simon and Michael to help me make my mind up.
Well, let's meet him then, shall we? Graham, come on in. How are you, boss?
Good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Graham, you all right?
Let's just get to know you a bit better, first of all, before we move on to what it is that you're looking for. So tell us, how old are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
So I'm 44. I'm from Stafford, and I live just down the road in Stafford, about an hour away.
So we've seen your Versys.
Yeah.
And you've had that for quite a long time, I believe.
12 years.
What are you looking for?
I'm one of these people that I enjoy whatever I'm riding.
Yeah.
So, at the moment, it's cruiser, sports bike, adventure bike. I just like riding, full stop. So I've had a bit of everything. I've had a Bonneville, Bergman 650 super scooter.
All right, let's ask it another way. What don't you want?
I'm not looking at sports bikes, maybe not sports tour. I just want something that's comfortable.
Okay, nice upright riding position.
Are there any specifics in terms of engine size, cylinders, power?
I don't want anything like ridiculously powerful, because I'm over a plodder. I'm not bombing down motorways at 90 miles an hour or, hooning around bends.
Okay.
I'm happy just cruising around. Got my son and my daughter on the back, maybe my wife. So I just want something comfy. It's just got to have a really comfy seat, a nice ergonomic riding position, maybe a screen.
I suppose the big question is, what's your budget?
We're looking about £4,500. It depends how much I've annoyed the wife that week, but we're looking about £4,500. I might be able to creep up to 5.
Okay.
Does that include the sale of your Versys as well?
Well, it's 12 years old, it's done 72,000 miles, and it's been battered.
There are a lot of options, but we just need to make sure that you're kind of clued into them.
Yeah.
All right, shall we get going?
Let's get looking.
You're going to have a cup of tea, Graham?
Yeah, right, I'll see you in a bit.
Right, let's see if we can find Graham his next bike. Graham's going to test ride 3 used bikes we think might suit him best. One chosen by me, one chosen by Simon, and then a third mystery bike selected by Superbike Factory sales expert Frank Van Housen. Then at the end, we'll find out which bike Graham prefers, and hopefully we'll have answered his question, what bike next? Graham will be testing our 3 bike choices on the What Bike Next test route. It's an hour-long loop, taking in the twisty roads of South Derbyshire. It's a mixture of A's and B's, in town and out. Plenty of riding for Graham to get a feel for his next bike. Right, Si, what's the plan?
Do you know what? His criteria is wide open. We've got the entire shop. Should we just go and have a look at, see what we can find?
Yes!
Let's do it. That's an incredible list of bikes that Graham has given us. Now, one of the bikes he mentioned is the Trophy, Triumph Trophy 1200. Here is an SE, fantastic, comes with all the kits, even got stereo. It's a massive thing, it's a big touring bike, but it's on his list, so it's possible, but they're a little bit steep. This one's £7,000, they're pretty expensive things. I think they're just out of his range a little bit. Or maybe even, if we're talking tourers, a little bit more sporty in the touring terms. We've got Kawasaki's GTR 1400. This one's £4,500, which is kind of more in his ballpark. But again, it's an inline 4. He wanted a triple or a twin. He likes that character. Maybe a V4, maybe Honda's VFR 1200. But the trouble is, this is a little bit too sporty for him. He said he didn't want a sports bike, so perhaps that's too sporty. Maybe we should go adventure bike.
Got a couple of Hondas here. We've got the VFR 800X, aka the Cross Runner. We've also got the NC 750X, both of which tick a lot of his boxes. I'm not quite sure if they're different enough. That 750X might be the one.
Adventure bike, how about Suzuki's V-Strom 1000? Now, about 10 years ago, it's been around for a while. This was the very first gen, the relaunch model, if you like. And it's the right price. This is £4,800, so it's kind of in the right area. And I'm not sure, adventure bike. I want something that's kind of halfway between a road bike and an adventure bike.
All right, so this is the Royal Enfield Scram 411. Less than 1,000 miles, less than 18 months old. I don't know whether it's got enough about it for Graham. I don't know if it's got enough power, for example, or just a single cylinder. Interesting bike, though.
Okay, Graham, should we have a look at your first bike?
Absolutely. Cool, let's do
This
it.
is my choice. Let's have a look.
It's like Christmas. Oh! Tiger Sport. I like that.
2017. It's got about 19,000 miles on it, so it's a little bit higher than mileage, but that's not too bad.
No.
It's got everything. It's got traction control. It's got rider modes. It's got a few accessories. It's got these Motec engine bars. It's comfy. It's upright. It's not overpowered.
No.
Just the right amount of power. Cruise control. Heated grips. Yeah, the list is
Got
endless.
all the practical stuff.
What do you think so far?
Oh, I like it. It's,
Yeah?
it's sort of what I had in mind. It's going to be comfy, it's going to be practical, and not too threatening to ride all year round in the wet and whatnot.
One problem.
What's that?
Can you guess?
It's over budget.
It is a little bit. So you did say, didn't you, that if your wife was in a bad mood with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which a lot of the
What
time, to
about
be
if she's
fair.
in a good mood? Like a really good mood?
Maybe 5'2".
Come on, a bit north.
Oh,
It's 5,890 is what it's down for.
right, okay.
But my reasoning is that if you find a bike that you really, really want, you'll find it somehow. You know, we can sell something.
Yeah. A kidney, maybe.
Excited to ride it?
Yeah, oh, I'm excited to ride this. I'm really looking forward to have a crack on it.
Should we go for a ride?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent, let's do it.
Right, let's see if bike number one can win Graham over. Or will that Triumph's price tag really put him off?
Oh, Graham, what you need in your life is obviously a Triumph Tiger 1050 Sport. You've got a soft spot for Triumph and you're open to trying a triple. Well, this is a Triumph Triple. 123 horsepower's worth of Triumph Triple. And it's the perfect upgrade from your Versys 650. It's sort of like a Versys 650 Plus, without actually being a Versys 1000, which would be a bit samey but bigger, if you ask me. You want something comfy, and the 1050 Sport is certainly that, with a nicely balanced riding position and an adjustable screen. And it's got a decent pillion setup too, plus a Givey top box for that essential touring and commuting convenience. The only downside is it's a bit over your budget. But you know, when you find a bike you have to have, you can always find that extra bit of cash down the back of the sofa or in that shoebox under the bed. Ah, come on, Graham, you know you want it. So, Graham, how did you find the over-budget Triumph Tiger Sport? Did you get enough information on the test ride?
Oh, yeah. So we're out there for a while, and there's enough, going through villages, on the roads, there's enough to get a feel for the bike.
There's a bit of everything in a bit of village,
Yeah, it's a really good route.
So you know what you need to know about this one?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Excellent.
Other than it's too expensive. Anyway,
Right.
I've got something completely different lined up for you. So do you want to come and see bike number two?
Yeah, come on, let's go.
All right.
Let's go ride.
But what if Graham doesn't fancy a sports tourer? On to bike number two. Right, Graham, none of this over-budget nonsense that Hargreaves is going on about. I tell you what, if I knew he got a budget all the way up to there, I could have chosen you anything. But, so here we are, bike number two.
Yep.
Shall we?
Let's have a look.
Shall we? Shall we? I'll help you. There's lots of bits for it to get caught on.
It's caught on everything. Ooh, Enfield. Oh, the Interceptor 650.
Ta-da!
Nice that, isn't it?
That's a good reaction.
Yeah, there's lots of chrome. And I love classic looks of bikes. You know, after I had a Bonneville, I've always liked classic bikes. So it's got the bar end mirrors as well.
Well, here's my theory, right? So you talked a lot about what you've had in the past, the Bonneville.
Yep.
You like twins.
I do, yep.
It has a 650. You're not bothered about power?
No.
It's 47, I think it is.
Yeah.
But this particular thing is immaculate. One owner from new, 2,500 miles, 2021 bike.
Okay.
So it's pristine. It's lovely. And 4490
4490.
is the price tag.
Happy days.
Hargreaves, where are you? Hear that? Do you hear that?
So it's in budget.
Yes.
Please, there's a Yorkshireman in me. So, it's lovely. I love the shade of blue as well.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah. But does it come with traction control and?
Oh, who cares about that? Don't worry about that. But you were talking about potential sort of pillion-ness. It's got the grab handle.
Okay.
Pillion pegs. John, who works at BikeSocial as well, he had one on a sort of a long-term loan, and he actually ended up.
He spoke very highly of it as well.
And he talked about having those sort of pillion peg extension kits for his wife. But it's kind of retro cool. It's kind of it's a get on and ride, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you fancy having a go?
I'm definitely gonna have a go on this. Yeah.
Right.
Let's go for a ride.
Come on then. Let's see how Graham gets on with bike number 2. Or will that Enfield be a little too familiar? This might be a safe bet, given Graham's likening for a modern classic, but he's not tasted a Royal Enfield before, and for the money, I think it offers real value. It ticks so many of his boxes, and I think he'll gel well with the Interceptor 650. The model was released in 2019 alongside the Continental GT, both of which used the then new 650cc parallel twin engine, which was the first twin-cylinder Enfield for over 50 years. Under Indian ownership since 1994, I remember the firm's chief executive Siddhartha Lal telling us at the press launch that it's a company with UK roots, an Indian soul and a global approach. 80% of the engine's peak torque is made as low as 2,500 RPM, so that's ideal for the type of riding that Graham is looking to do. And this particular bike, look, it's in great condition, it's had just one owner and covered less than 2,500 miles. It offers simple, easy riding. What's not to like? Come on, Graham, get your checkbook out, there's no competition here. Graham, back from the Interceptor 650 ride, was it the greatest bike you've ever ridden?
It's a bike I've ridden. I really enjoyed it though. You know, I'm not saying, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's a good choice.
It was a good workout. You stretched your legs enough, you got an idea of...
Yep, definitely.
Talk about it in depth a bit later.
Yes, definitely.
To be fair, it was about 15 miles an hour slower on average than we did.
Maybe, but yeah, that's not the point of the bike though.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. All right, okay. Should we go and have a look at the mystery bike? I can't wait to see what they've got for us.
I think we should, yeah.
Go on then. All right, it's time for bike number 3, and it's the mystery bike, as chosen by Superbike Factory sales expert Frank Van Housen. Let's see what Frank's got to say about his choice.
My name's Frank Van Housen. I work at Superbike Factory in Donington and I work in the accessory department. So I've chosen a bike for Graham, which I thought was a little bit quirky and a little bit left field to what he's used to riding at the moment. So it's got a detuned commuter engine in it, so it's quite flicky, you can go around the corners on it a little bit quicker, and it's got decent sort of engine power for what Graham was looking for. You can still go down the high street and look in the shop windows to see how cool he looks, but he doesn't need to go out and get a tattoo or a ponytail.
Okay, Graham, it's mystery bike time, as chosen by Superbike Factory's Frank. Well,
Should we have a look? Come on.
Have they gone rogue? Let's have a look.
we don't know what this is, so it's Christmas for us all.
Whoa!
What do you got? Come on.
I've got caught on something.
It's grey, a Kawasaki.
Kawasaki Vulcan.
Vulcan-esque.
Give it the Star Trek sign.
How do you do that?
Like that, that's it. Yeah. giving away in a nerd. Why me? Well, there we go. 650cc parallel twin.
Based on the Versys.
Indeed,
So with
yes.
the different...
Familiar territory to you.
You're a fan of Kawasaki. You got the Versys. I can
So it
see
should be
his
familiar
thinking.
straight off the bat, hopefully.
Not much of a mystery, but
No, it's a good choice though, you know.
Comfy riding
It's
position.
definitely comfy.
Yeah.
So feet forward, it's a bit different.
that's optional extra, isn't it?
Little sissy bar for the pillion.
Yeah, we've got the pannier
Some
frames.
pannier racks there, so you could hang some bags on there, some throwovers. That would be cool.
Have we got the price of this? I assume it's in budget.
Cheat sheet here, 4691.
4691, that's quite a good price as well.
9,500 miles.
2017. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that, yeah.
Well, that's a bit different, isn't it? That's
3 very different bikes.
Aren't they
you've had
just?
3 different bikes today.
Oh, I like this though.
No, I'm looking forward to trying this because it's been a while since we've had something with feet forward riding position. So
Have you had something like this before?
no. So the only other feet forward bike I've ever had was the Bergman 650.
Was the Bergman?
Which is a super scooter. No, this should be good to ride. So
All right.
Let's get out and give it a
Let's
go.
go have a look.
Okay, on to bike number 3. So let's see if Graham likes the Kawasaki, or is it a bit too out of this world?
Oh my life, Frank, what have you gone for here? When we said mystery bike, we meant it's supposed to be a surprise, not a mystery why you chose it. Frank's choice for Graham is a 2018 Kawasaki VN650 Vulcan S Cafe with just under 10,000 miles on it for a slightly over budget £4,691. Yes, it's a bike named after a Roman god of fire and a Star Trek planet. The Vulcan is basically a cruiser version of the Versys 650 Graham already owns. It's the same motor, 180 degree 650cc parallel twin. According to Kawasaki, the Vulcan does not require the rider to conform to some herd mentality, outdated fashion or lifestyle. But if we're totally honest, it probably helps. So does that sound like Graham? I think not. I'm sorry, Frank, I can't see him going for the Vulcan. Live long and prosper.
So, Graham, how was the Vulcanator? Have you ridden it enough to find out what you needed to know?
I've ridden it enough definitely to get a feel for it.
Yep.
I can't feel my bum, but yeah. So we can have a little chat inside, can't we, over a brew?
I think that is a good idea. Should we go in and
before this gets us.
before it starts to rain on us? Should we go inside then and get a cup of coffee?
I think so.
It's a good idea, yeah. Graham, welcome inside. It's warm. You've had a think about the 3 bikes, and we'll move on to each one of those one at a time in just a moment. But in front of you are the keys to those bikes in pretty little envelopes.
Okay.
And the reason why we've done that is to add a little bit of jeopardy and a little bit of interest, because alongside those keys are one of 3 prizes.
Ooh.
And nobody
This
except
is new. I didn't know that.
Nobody except me knows which prize is in which envelope. So, thanks to Zero Fit, we've got a head-to-toe outfit with hats and scarves and underlayers, which are worth about £150, £160. You've got a free set of Metzeler tyres of your choice to fit whatever bike it is that you end up with.
Lovely.
Or you've got a £100 Superbike factory voucher that you can spend in the accessories department. So, have a little think about that while we're talking about these 3 bikes.
Okay.
But, first of all, Simon, yours was the Triumph.
Triumph Tiger Sport, yeah, I was concerned because it was a little bit over budget, quite low over budget.
Quite over budget.
And so before we dig into the bike, I've got a question for you, which is, does that matter? If you fell in love with the bike, would you find a little bit extra? Because I always assume that, and I always think, because that's what I would do. But I wonder if you've been in that same position.
Hang on a minute, we're rewriting the rules all of a sudden.
Well, you got to ask these things. I mean,
As a Yorkshireman, yes, it's important.
It is important.
Yeah.
So that's a lesson for the next What Bike Next, is keep it in budget. Okay.
Yeah, because, what was it, six and a half, was it? 6?
Oh, no, it's not as much as that. It's 5,850, I think. 5,000.
You've got it written there, it's 5,890, I can read it.
5,890, okay, so it's still quite a long way over budget, by half a grand. Yeah, you can negotiate down a bit. So that depends on how much I could stretch my budget and how much I can negotiate down.
And so the next question will be, would you be prepared to do that? What did you think of the bike?
It is a cracking bike. I'll give it that. It's got a lovely engine, lovely motor.
Yeah.
You know, it's smooth. It's got loads of power. Slick gearbox. You know, because my Kawasaki is properly agricultural. So just slicking a gear without even thinking about it. But yeah, the mid range was lovely. So just that sweet spot.
It just purrs, doesn't it?
And everything ergonomically is just right for someone my stature.
Yeah.
So,
And it has all the gadgets as well.
Yeah.
It's got the heated grips and it's got all the sat-nav mounts. It's got the cruise control.
yeah, it's a lot of buttons,
A lot of buttons.
and things on the dash to look at. But you get used to it. So, you know, I'd learn to use it. We fiddled with it a bit at the start. You couldn't work out how to get out of rain mode.
And it has, the seat height's not a problem. It's quite a sculpted seat on that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I think it's a touring seat as well.
Yeah.
It's gel, so it was really comfy.
Graham, how tall are you? I think the viewers might
It's,
want to know.
177 centimetres, which is about 5'9", average height.
So overall, it's pretty good then. The engine's good, chassis good, handling's
Handling
good.
was amazing. It just tracked corners and held the line really well. So it's a lovely, everything I expect from, a modern bike. So it's,
I think you said in your criteria you weren't that bothered about riding modes and electronics, but I guess once you've had them and once you've had the fiddle with them, you kind of understand what they do. It's hard to dismiss them, or?
Yeah, I've ridden bikes with electronics, and once I've found the setting that I like, usually just auto, but I just leave it at that. Traction control and riding modes. I mean, rain mode, it's just my right wrist usually, and I just tune my riding to what the conditions are rather than using settings on the bike.
But for all the good stuff, there's still the issue of the price, right? That's the downside.
Right, let's not get to a verdict just yet then. Let's talk about the Royal Enfield.
Bike number 2, Interceptor 650.
Yes.
The magnificent Royal Enfield. Go on then, tell me about it. Tell me about your experience. It's very different to the Triumph.
It is very different to the Triumph. As you look at them, but coming from, I've had a Bullet 500, I've had a Bonneville, I've had a W650. It just instantly fitted. And I instantly felt at home on it. And my dad's got a classic bike. And it's just the bare bones basic motorcycle. So I immediately felt home on it.
Did you feel, so it's a new bike, isn't it? It's relatively new. I mean, it's 2021, it's 2,500 miles, it's just barely run in, one owner from new. So there's lots of pros there. Did it feel like a brand new bike?
It felt used, but in a good way, not like everything's worn out and, the suspension was still compliant. It didn't feel like soggy or anything like that. So it's done less than 3,000 miles. So.
But on the ride itself, tell me more about how the engine felt to you and the gearbox and the braking.
It'd been a twin. It has got that engine braking, and it's only got 47 horsepower, which is about half the Triumph. But it's the way it makes the power. So it's not about being fast. It's about just pottering and cruising around and just enjoying that moment riding the motorbike, which is what I love. Pottering around back roads where you can only do 30, maybe 40 miles an hour. And the sound the motor makes when you wind it on, just that classic like Beezer, Triumph, Norton sound. It's essentially a classic bike, but new. Yeah, so I love it. It's a really nice bike to ride.
But a completely different sort of purpose of motorcycling, if you like, compared to the Tiger.
So this is a do-it-all tour Europe. 2 up with luggage, and then maybe go for a hoon at the weekend. Whereas the Enfield is we're going to go cruising, just bobbing around at the speed limit, backcountry roads, nice sunny summer day.
Was it a bit over-familiar because you've kind of already done that in your motorcycling career?
Yeah. But it's a sort of riding that fits my riding style. I'm not a fast rider.
You're quite a fast rider. You're plenty quick enough. We weren't hanging around when you were out on the Tiger.
No, we weren't hanging around. But I do like just to slow the pace down a bit sometimes and just enjoy
the sensations.
Yeah. The suspension isn't perfect. It's maybe a little bit underpowered, but the way it puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, based on the criteria that you offered, I think that it sort of fits the bill perfectly. And it's within budget.
It's within budget.
Speaking of bikes that put a smile on your face, a bike that put a smile on my face when I first saw it was the Vulcan.
Yes.
How did we fare with the mystery bike?
So the mystery bike was... It's a spanner in the works. Is that a bit too harsh?
It's a curveball, or
yeah, curveball. That's a better.
It's a left field choice.
So it's feet forward riding position, but not like my Bergman. So It took me a while, about half the ride, to get my feet position and get my, my riding position set up properly. And I didn't find it comfy. I felt like my knees were a bit high. It was a bit, I couldn't go forward or backwards because you have the tank and the seat, so I couldn't adjust the riding position. And I just kept clipping the gear lever with my foot.
Kept clipping the ground with your foot as well.
Clipping the ground and the
I
pegs
did
in your
notice
feet,
that.
so.
Yeah.
So apart from the discomfort, was there any pros?
Familiar with the engine, obviously.
It's a Versys 650. It's the same engine, so it's the same. I think it's been a bit tuned more for low down because I think the Versys got slightly more mid-range.
Okay.
But coming out the corners and the induction roar. I know it's because where you're sat and it's naked and you're sat more within the bike rather than on it. You could hear the induction sound a lot more. You could tell it kept dropping back and accelerating back towards you because the sound was just lovely, just winding it on in 4th, 5th, 6th gear. That's quite addictive, but the suspension's horrendous.
Not got a lot of suspension travel.
No. So,
some of those bumpy roads.
so there's some like bumpy back roads, and the rear suspension's really, really hard, but at the same time the front end's really soft, so that's wallowing around while you've been bounced out the seat.
I think it's an old Mike Hailwood thing, isn't it? About complaining about the hard rear suspension, when in fact it's so soft it's bottomed out.
Yeah, maybe I do. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't. I'm not saying it's a bad bike. Obviously it's sold quite a lot, so it suits some people.
Okay.
But it's not for me.
What else? Have you seen anything else today you think, oh yeah, I fancy that? Or indeed, anything that leads on from the rides that you've had?
I tend to like whatever I'm riding at the time. So, and I've got a lot of friends who ride, and we just swap bikes. And I did see a BMW 650, the Triumph Trophy. I think the Triumph Trophy is probably out my price bracket because they were superbly comfy and just grunty. But
that was one of the bikes that I was seriously considering, because I've got a bit of a thing for them as well. I've got a bit of a soft spot, and I was sort of thinking, maybe I can get a quick go on it as well.
Well, look, of these 3 envelopes, it's probably fair to say we can whisk the Kawasaki one away.
Yeah,
Rejected. But seriously, I know we're sort of fairly flippant about it, and it's your money and it's your decision, and we're not putting on the spot here. Would you be interested in the prizes that go with them, but either the Royal Enfield key or the Triumph key today? Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Today? Or just out of the 2 for...
Well, if I had the money, definitely. I'd be walking out the showroom, probably with the Enfield. It's definitely one to look for the future.
All right, so it's once you get the Versys sold, that's decision day. I got you.
Wow, okay. So just talk us really briefly then through that little end of the process between the Tiger and what's the Enfield got that the Tiger hasn't?
It's the way it made me feel riding it. It put a smile on my face, and it just felt natural. It suited my riding style, and I don't know, maybe it's because it hasn't got bells and whistles, it's just a bare bones basic motorbike, but it just felt instantly familiar, and I just gelled with it straight away.
That's fantastic. I think, even though I haven't won, that makes me so happy, because that's kind of reaffirming that core thing about motorcycling, which is that you can take the bells and whistles and throw them away. It's how it makes you feel.
It's not all about power and speed. And
when you said it put a smile on my face, I thought, hello, I've lost this. But isn't it great? I think that's brilliant. I think that's really, really life-affirming.
Yeah.
So,
Job.
good choice.
That's what it's about.
If you were to buy that bike today, just flip over that envelope, open it up and see what you would have won.
This is what you could have won. Oh, set Metzler tyres.
Set of Metzler tyres to go with it as well.
Blimey, you could have had a set of Metzler tyres if you pulled the trigger. I think you better go on the phone to the missus then.
Or see if they do a part exchange. Graham, thank you so much for being part of this process. Really enjoyed our day. Really enjoyed talking to you and sort of leading you along too.
It's been a cracking day.
Thank you
very much.
It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Graham. Cheers, man.
There it is, the end of another episode. And I will take a moral victory there because he definitely liked that Royal Enfield. So I'm pleased with my choice, and I'm pleased that Graham chose that one out of the 3 that we did. But look, his criteria was so good. It was so wide. Good, I don't know. But there was a lot of bikes that we could have chosen and should have chosen. And I'm sure that you're going to be, the comments on this video are going to be full of bikes that you think we should have chosen. And yeah, fine. If we had days and days and days for him to test every single bike, then that would have been a good idea too. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to Zero Fit for supporting us with this video. Thank you to Metzler for supporting us on this video. Thank you to Superbike Factory for supporting us on this video. Don't forget that BikeSocial members can apply to be on the show. So if you would like to be on the show, enquiries at bikesocial.co.uk is where you need to send us your information. Join us on our Facebook group, Bennett's BikeSocial. So you can come and join us there. There's a lot of chat, there's a lot of interest, a lot of information, a lot of fun times. And yeah, also BikeSocial members, if you're not yet a BikeSocial member, then do come and join us there as well. It's free. You get access to about 150 fantastic deals and offers and competitions and BSB goodness. It's free with your Bennett's insurance if you are a direct Bennett's customer. If you're not, you can still become a member. It's £6 a month or it's £60 a year. Good, that's all for now. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next time. Since recording this episode, Graham has been in touch to say that he's reached a decision. While he was taken by the Royal Enfield Interceptor, there's a few house-related outgoings this year, so he'll be making his purchase next year. And he said that I could chalk this down as a win. Whoop, whoop. Oh, yeah. Torque wrench. So the line is, hello, welcome to episode, no, what, so carry on?
We'll edit this bit so it looks seamless and smooth.
Do, 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 do.